Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Connect to Florida. I have been busy. Working in real estate. So we are officially into season. So for us, our season starts to begin. I always call it a shoulder season in October. That's when people start to come back to Florida. That's when the snowbirds start showing up again and packing their luggage. November, December, we have some people show up because sometimes people want to get the holidays over with and then show up in Florida. So that is what makes January, February, March our full-blown season. But a lot of people do start to show up in November and December, depending on how they celebrate the holidays. So it has been busier than usual here for me. A lot going on right now. So I thought it would be a good time to talk to you a little bit about what the beginning of season 2025 is looking like. Because when we roll into January, first quarter of 2026, that's when I think that's when we'll see what are things going to do. Right now, like I said, we're still in that shoulder season. So we're still just kind of working it out. We're still kind of working out the details, but I want to give you an early update and then we'll compare that as we move into 2026 and we'll see how things look then. So let me jump into what the data is looking like right now in the opener of the 2025 season. All right, I'm going to look down so that I'm giving you accurate information here. So according to, this is from NAR, National Association of Realtors, according to November 2025 market update, the regional median sale in the entirety of Southwest Florida. Now I'm telling you, I'm giving you this big number, like this big area, geographical area, because there are so many people that look to Naples, but they might call Naples, I moved to Naples, but they actually moved to Bonita Springs. Or they say, I moved to Sarasota, but they actually moved to Venice. So people will get a little bit loose with the geography in that way. So what I'm going to give you is everything from Sarasota south. Okay, so that's what we're looking at, not including the Everglades. So Sarasota south is what I'm considering Southwest Florida. The average sale price, who can guess on this? I'm really curious what you think. Average sale price as a whole for a single family home. What do you think it is? Hit pause and go down in comments and tell me what you think it is. I will wait. Nope, you're wrong. 410,000. Are you surprised? I was a little bit surprised. I thought it would be higher than that. But you know what it is? If you look at what it is in Naples, which I'll pop right here, and if you look at what it is in Venice, which I'll pop right here, and if you look at what it is in Cape Coral, which I'll put right here, you can kind of see these numbers are all over the place. So when you're looking at a big geographical area like that, it's going to just kind of average everything down into a number that we're getting at 410,000. All right, so market supply remains in buyers' favor. I would love to know what you think. What do you think we're sitting on right now in Southwest Florida as a whole inventory? So if you recall, we've talked about this in the past. It was about 12 to 14 months. Right now, we're at about 8 months inventory. But again, remember, we've got all these areas grouped in together. All right, how about sales activity? What's going on there? Here's the thing with sales activity. That is very regional. You have to look at that on a micro level. So for example, I'll give you the example of Cape Coral. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of inventory. Same thing with Northport. Same thing with Punta Gorda. Lots and lots and lots of inventory. Yes, there are a decent amount of sales, but the real story here is that the amount of inventory, homes that are coming on the market, that is outpacing the sales. So here's where it's kind of interesting. Everybody is seeing a sort of an increase in sales. Why? Because it's beginning to move into season. So when it's season, more buyers come into the area. So naturally, more homes are going to sell. But the prices on these homes, nobody is taking massive price drops. Now, in some areas, you're seeing some decent, significant price drops. And again, I'll just name Punta Gorda, Northport, and Cape Coral. Cape Coral, you can almost get, you have so many choices. And I used to always say, if you want to buy on big open water, it's going to be a little bit more stable there, which I still will stand behind that. But those prices are moving as well. Why? Because of the abundance of inventory. We are starting to work out the insurance issue. Not entirely. It's not a scenario where boom, problem solved. But there are other options that are coming in. People are starting to get creative. People are starting to understand that it's in my opinion, I am not giving you insurance advice, but people are starting to understand you're gonna get depreciated. If you over-insure, that could be problematic, and I'll let you do your own research and deep dive in that. But if you've been around for a while, you know that if you insure your house for $1 million, but your house is really only worth around $700,000, there's not some big guarantee you're getting $1 million. So I would just say, when you insure, do your research. The other mistake people make, but they're learning not to do this, do not over-insure. If you buy a home furnished and you bought it with double used wicker furniture, why are you insuring that for $100,000? This is a question you should ask yourself. For over a year, coastal counties. So you've got Lee County, Sarasota County, Charlotte County. The parts of Charlotte County are going to have coastal areas. And of course, Collier County. So coastal counties in Southwest Florida, year over year. So from last year this time to this year this time, you're going to be a little surprised. We are up 18.6 in sales, number of sales. We're up 18.6. That's just a fact. Now, you might say, but what about the prices? Are the prices up? Are the prices down? What's going on there? So the prices are generally stabilized, but again, micro level, not everywhere. In Naples, in an area, I say this all the time, in an area that's highly desirable, on water, newer, giant lanai, not enormous HOA fees. These areas are stabilizing. There is a little bit of bounce back and forth, a little stair stepping going on, but that's normal. So overall, what I would say right now in this opening pass, what I would say overall in this opening pass of season, where are the best buys? Well, as I look at the data, the best buys by far in a single family home, it is still going to be Cape Coral, Punta Gorda, really Port Charlotte, Northport. There's some decent pockets in Venice. I'm looking at data in front of me. There's some decent pockets in Venice where you can get a really good buy. Parts of like the outskirts of Orlando, some deals. I've been referring business out that direction because I don't personally myself work that area, but I have team members that are absolutely buried with really, really good deals for their buyers. So depending on what you want in that area, if you're looking for a full-time lifestyle and you just want the sunshine, you're a Disney adult, you want to be relatively close to Disney, and you want a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a pool, we can get you some really good buys in that area as well. But I would say those are the areas that are really still continuing to see really good buyer numbers, maybe not so good for sellers, but aggressive numbers that buyers can feel pretty good about. The thing with Cape Coral is when we're working with buyers in Cape Coral, if there's 10 homes that fit your needs, we're going to get really aggressive with the offers that we put out there because, why not at this point? If seller A doesn't take it, seller D probably will because they're going to be a little more realistic. So what's going on with the Naples? What's going on with the Naples sellers? Have they come to reality at all? Are they on board at all? Are they still living in la la land with their prices? I would say to you that they are mostly still living in la la land. Mostly. Listen, there's going to be, and I know you don't want to hear this, but this is why I always say we have to look at things on a micro level. There is going to be communities in Naples that the sellers never come to reality. Why? They don't have to. They're not motivated to do it. They don't care if they sell. Yeah, they'll sell, but if they don't, they don't. They're going to wait for a number that's completely unrealistic. And as a result, they're going to keep their home forever and they're going to pass it on to their heirs. It's happening in a lot of communities in Naples, but not all of them. There are many communities in Naples that aren't having that problem. So if you want me to do a deep dive, just a specific video going into the neighborhoods, so here's the honest reality of it. There was no catastrophic storm in Southwest Florida or really any part of Florida this hurricane season, and it's over. Dodged a bullet. And that is exactly what Florida needed to bounce back and recover to some degree. Now, in no world are the insurance companies all of a sudden going to start giving you great premiums. In no world ever. I'm just going to say this because I get this question. People make this comment, and I have heard a couple of YouTubers say this, real estate agent YouTubers, and I just fall off my stool over here. HOAs are not going to lower their monthly or their quarterly numbers. They're not. If everybody has been paying for 2 years, their massive increase from $500 a month to $850 a month, why would they then say, okay, thank you, friends. Now we're going to make it $615. Do you really think they're going to do that? They're never going to do that. They're not, because everything is adjusted up on them, insurance included, so they adjusted it up on you. They're not going to walk it backwards. There is no such thing as a sale on the HOA. It doesn't happen that way. So for those folks out there, if you're watching YouTubers that are saying the HOAs are going to come down significantly, I have no words. All right, so I hope that was helpful, a helpful overview for you. So what I'll probably do next on a video in the next week or two, maybe I'll pull 5 major cities. Are there any major cities in Florida that you want me to pull numbers on? And we'll go over specifically what the numbers look like in this opening season quarter, this final quarter of 2025. We'll take a look at what the numbers look like in, let's say, maybe 4 or 5 major cities, and we'll go over that. Let me know in comments which cities you'd be most interested in.